Picture one day you meet your creator, and your creator shows you an image of what you could have become if you would have applied yourself, if you wouldn't have been so lazy, if you actually would have done what you know you wanted to do, what you should have done, but you just didn't do it. And imagine the compound interest year after year of not doing what you're capable of doing and what that could look like at the end of your life. And then compare that to the person who has become it, who has done the best that they possibly could. They gave it their all. And think about the regret that you'll have looking back at your life, seeing an image of what you could have become and comparing that to what you actually did become. I don't know if there could be a more depressing thought and something that you can never, ever take back. It is the reason why we're so attracted to influential leaders that have this magnum opus, this I have a dream speech that they pursue in their life, and they connect people to it. And when you hear them talking, you could just feel it from them because they believe so strongly in whatever it is they're pursuing. It may be philanthropically, it may be from their business, it may be personally, whatever it is, spiritually. People who have an aim in life, they have something that guides them. They are a storm to be reckoned with. And I think that if you compare where you are compared to someone who has that, and you're not motivated to get that yourself, then something's wrong. You need to wake up because you're sleepwalking through life. Because life goes fast, the clock is ticking. And even though you can't see your clock ticking, and we don't know when our last minute's going to be, because it could be at any minute, but that doesn't mean it's not decreasing. And so you have limited time. No matter where you are in your life, no matter how old you are, we have limited time on this earth to do what we're capable of doing. And it's a responsibility, and you have an obligation to put your best foot forward. We used to talk about in our leadership course about how the biggest failure of a parent is to live a life not worth living. And if you want to lead your kids, then you have to show them what a life worth living looks like. And that means going after something that you're passionate about, that you love. It's one of the hardest things to do is to figure that out. Sitting down and writing out your vision, writing out where you want to go with your life, work, personally, blending together, integrating them. It's not easy. That's why not everybody has one. But if you want to be a strong, influential leader who can look at their life and know that they gave their best foot forward, they did everything they could, whether you achieved it or not, that's a way to live with no regret. It's a way for you to be able to live your life and look back and not wish you would have done something different. And it starts with you putting pen to paper and figuring out what does that look like and writing about it day and day and day. Keep writing about it and keep rinsing it and changing it and updating it. And eventually you start to catch something. You start to feel like you got something. And it's a really hard exercise. Most people quit after just writing something down, or people just want to have something written down and it doesn't really sound that great. It's so normal. But you've got to work really hard at that. And the people who do, and you see them then living their life and putting baby step after baby step and compounding these wins, these little wins that all are putting them on this path towards this big dream, is very, very inspiring. And you should use that as a catalyst for your own growth. When you think about what Martin Luther King did with his I Have a Dream speech, he didn't say much outside of the same thing hundreds of times, over and over. Every crowd that he talked to, he had a dream, and people resonated with it. They connected with it. He inspired millions. And so you have to come up with your I Have a Dream speech. If you have 10 employees, if you've got thousands of employees, if you're in your community, if you're in your family, what is it that you're pointing at? What is it that you're throwing that rock out 10, 15, 20, 30 years out that you want? And it's important that hopefully you're doing something where you're making other people's lives better. Because if you're not making other people's lives better, what are you doing? And if you're chasing money and you're chasing honor, it's like drinking salt water. It's not going to get you very far. And as soon as you make 100,000, you're going to want to make 200,000. And as soon as you make 200,000, you're going to go spend more money and you're going to want to make 400,000. And it never, ever stops. It's not worth chasing paper. It's worth chasing purpose. And so you got to ask yourself, do you have purpose in your life? Do you have a defining statement of why you get up every day, get out of bed? Do you have this big vision that you're kind of pursuing? You may not have 100% clarity, but what is it that you love that gives you energy? And if you're sleepwalking, it's time to wake up. Get a vision. Get a vision worth dying for, a vision worth running through walls for, a vision worth showing your kids, what a life worth living looks like.